from Domenico 101 MMA, and I have on Josh Emmett, fresh off his UFC on Fox 26 win against number 3 ranked featherweight UFC fighter Ricardo Lamas. 3 weeks notice Josh came in, went to Canada, and he knocked out Ricardo, a number 3 ranked featherweight. This dude has challenged for the title, and Josh went in there, and with 3 weeks notice, he took out a title contender right here. Steve, and I got Josh Emmett on the phone now, fresh off his win this past Saturday at UFC on Fox 26 in Winnipeg, Canada. Josh, man, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, how you feeling, buddy? You must be getting a lot of, a lot of people calling you, talking about this big fight, because it was a huge matchup. 3 weeks short notice fight for you. Big fight, co-main headlining on Fox. How did this feel to you? How does it feel now, a couple of days from the fight?
It feels the same to me. It's I feel like I've been, competing my whole life and wrestling in college, and I've been fighting, locally before I got into the UFC, and I was the champion there, and everyone would come and support me and stuff like that. So it really feels no different for me, but it was a huge fight, and it's just more the people. I got out to the masses for this fight, and that's what I wanted, because I haven't got that much exposure throughout my career and in the UFC, and so a lot of people didn't really know who I was. But like I've said before, I feel like I'm one of the best fighters in the world. Just nobody knew it, And so I just went out there and I just performed and just did what I do. And I still feel like I didn't get to showcase that much. There's so much more that everyone's going to continue to see.
Excellent. And like you said, it's like this is your 5th fight in the UFC. You're 4-1, and you're talking about how you were flying under the radar. You got 4 wins now. You had 3 before this one, and I mean you had some grinding, very good performances. But this was your breakout one. This is your biggest fight to date. One that you kind of went into. Like, how did you feel going into the fight? Like, that was there a lot of pressure on you, or did you feel it was all on Ricardo?
Yes, I didn't have any added pressure or nerves or anything like that. I really don't get nervous before a fight. I just treat it like a sparring day at Team Alpha. We have some of the best fighters in the world on our team, and I've also competed at the highest level for so long and wrestled in front of thousands of people at nationals. So I'm just going to go out and compete. But as far as pressure goes, Ricardo had everything to lose. In everyone's eyes and mine, I had nothing to lose. But as far as myself, I put pressure on myself for every fight, because this is a fight that I wanted. This is a fight that I knew I could win. And it was just an opportunity that I could go out there and, like I said, show the people that aren't like true fight fans who know who I am, just people that are just tuning in because it's a free card or whatnot, that just what I'm capable of. And so the pressure I put on myself, I go over there, or I fight to win, no matter what. Like, I will be a world champion, and that's what I'm gunning for. So I knew I had to go out there, perform, put on a show, and I was going in there to shock the world, and I did that. Yeah,
and you talked about that. You wanted to go in there, and you did just that, Josh. I mean, you took out the a number 3 ranked fighter in Ricardo Lamas, who he's finished his fights, and you went in there and you finished the finisher. And what a way to finish him. Let's talk a little bit about that finish. Big talked about around the world. I mean, Ricardo, he was out for a while, dead on the money. Could you feel that setup coming? Because it was like, just an automatic. He had a lot of leg kicks. He was throwing them. And, your coaches were throwing that out there, telling you to watch out for that. And, your coaches and, training partners have fought and beat Ricardo. So you did have a game plan. How did you feel? Was that game plan coming true while you were feeling out Ricardo in the cage there?
Yeah, it was everything went just according to plan. We knew he was dangerous everywhere, but I just feel like once I get in there, like I've said this before, I watch a lot of people's tape and I see what they do to other people, so I give them a lot of respect. But when I get in there and I feel the power that they have, it just, I don't know, it doesn't affect me, and I just think, I'm like, man, that's kind of all you got. And maybe people underestimate my power. They say, oh, all he's got is an overhand right. I'm like, okay, I do have an overhand right, and I will throw it a bunch of times, but I guarantee I'm going to hit you with it. So even though I was hitting him and putting like 2-3-piece combos together, I was hitting him through his forearms and his gloves, and I was hitting him hard, and I could tell that it was bothering him. And maybe he underestimated my power, and then once we get in there and we're actually in a fight, people are like, oh man, he hits a lot harder than I thought, or I imagined, or I'm faster than they anticipated. But the game plan was just kind of be patient and not rush anything. And I knew if I just kind of just tracked him down, or we got into, some sort of just where we're standing there and trading, I knew if I just caught him with one punch, either left hand, right hand, and we were working a lot on the hook, because we knew that he was going to be aware of my right hand, just think I'm going to throw right hand. So we were just working on bringing back the hook. So, and this is one of the tendencies that we saw just watching all those fights and just breaking it down. It's like he's trying to time my overhand, so when I threw that, he slipped left and threw that leg kick. And one thing that Ricardo does time and time again, he always has his right hand down. So my boxing coach Joey and he would just tell me, bring back the hook. So I overcommitted on the right hand because he slipped and kicked me, but it loaded up that left hand, and I just turned the left hook right over, and just it connected, perfect placement right to his chin, and I could feel that it was a perfect punch. Just when you feel the two big knuckles, I could feel the punch land through my glove, and I just knew that was it.
Hey.
And when I looked at him, he was just folded over, falling down, and that's why I put my hands up, because I didn't need to pounce on him and hit him again, because the fight was over.
Yeah. Josh, have you ever hit anyone that hard in an actual fight?
Yeah, I actually some of my earlier fights before I got in the UFC, I fought a UFC vet, Christos Giagos, and at 155, and that guy, man, he was to this day still the toughest opponent I've ever fought. I'm surprised the UFC even cut him. He'll get back in there. He's good. And I was hitting him with like hard right hands. If people go back and watch that fight on YouTube, I hit him so hard a few times, and he was just on, ice skates. His legs going all crazy, but he just kept coming and coming. And then finally in the third round, I, found another home for that right hand on the chin and just put him out bad. But that was one of the fights. That was probably my favorite fight of my career. Besides this one I just had because everyone got to see it. But that fight that Christos and I had, if that was in the UFC, that would have been, fight of the year. We would have got fight of the night bonus. I would have got knockout of the night bonus. Like, it would have been crazy. It was actually a pretty good fight to watch. And we fought in these little cages, so it forces you to fight. You can't move around a lot.
Yeah,
so
with a hometown crowd cheering you on too, right?
Yeah, it was insane because like I said, I was the champion, so and I fought I'm from Sacramento, and all the fights were in Sacramento, so I would have, thousands of people. like the floors would be rumbling. It was like the best. I love the energy.
Nice. Now, to talk about that left hand there, Josh, you said you did, we're training that with your boxing coach, Joey Rodriguez, and, when we were watching that fight and, we were watching it live, and you did talk about, overcommitting with that right hand, but you had that recoil, and you did, talking about Ricardo after that kick, he dropped his hands for an instant, but with that recoil, and when you came back with that left hook, man, that was something of beauty, man. That was from the technical gods right there, that punch.
Yeah, and that's just I've been saying it, Joey Rodriguez boxing at its finest. Like, I've been working with him for so long, and we started, and he just built me up as far as like just being like, because my style is more I like to box. I love boxing, and I think just with my pressure, my power and speed, that before I got into the UFC, even we were talking about like, man, I don't know if we're gonna get in the UFC. Let's start doing some boxing fights. But yeah, just the fundamentals. He helped me with like just the basic technique, the fundamentals, and corrects, and every little which way, just to hit with the knuckles, elbow high, and you could see in that the shot that I landed with the hook, it was like, just like you said, it was just like the most.
It was the thing of beauty.
Technical hook, I had my knee in, I was my left ball.
And you were coming off a leg kick. I mean, he leg kicked. It seemed like you had checked it. You were solid in there, and it was just, whack. And it was a thing of beauty, my friend. And that's going to be played on and on and on and on, that punch. And to talk about. You talked about wanting a fight bonus, and you did come in heavy weighing in, but a performance like that, coming off a 3-week training camp, they should give you a little something, pay for your trip because you are going away, correct?
Yeah, we are going away, but I'm not sure how it works. Time and time again, I felt like I performed really well, got fight of the night, or when I took a 4-day notice fight and almost lost my finger and still beat a veteran of the sport. It's like I still haven't got anything. So it's like I was hoping they'd make an exception, but just being realistic, they probably aren't going to. But who knows? I would love that, and I hear all the criticism from all these like keyboard warriors out there talking about that's the only reason why I won the fight is because I had 2.5 pounds on me, but that does not win or lose a fight. I will fight. I always hope my opponent comes in heavy so I get that 20%. I'll fight anyone 5-10 pounds heavier than me, and I'll still beat them. Hey,
Dan Cormier, he was excited watching you fight. He wasn't mentioning anything about 2 pounds, man. You're fighting a killer in there, man. You're fighting a number 3 ranked dude. No excuses, man. 2 pounds over or not, you knocked out the number 3 guy in the world. So, all the props to you, no matter if you were 2 pounds over. And you talk about you never missed weight before. It was a 3-week notice fight. So, as far as media in here in New England, Josh, we'll definitely give you a pass on this one.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it's kind of frustrating. Like, just I don't want anything to be taken away from that, and that's just what it seems like. But who knows? Like, if I made weight and that happened still, then there'd be something else people would be saying. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it is what it is. But it was an amazing fight and a great opportunity. And I'm glad that I got to showcase my skills and put on a great show for the Canadian fans and the fans across the world, because it was crazy, electrifying in there. Yeah, the fans in Canada, they're crazy. And you coming from the West Coast, a little bit of warmer weather. How'd you feel about the weather in up there in Canada? Oh man, it was tough because even over here in Sacramento, Northern California. When we left, it was like the low 50 degrees, and this is Fahrenheit. And I was like, oh man, it's cold. And then when we got into Winnipeg, it was like 8 degrees, 6 degrees, and it was like, it just like chilled your bones were cold. Yeah. And then all like the people from Winnipeg, they were telling us like, oh, it's warm out here. You just walk a few blocks. And we're like, this is not warm. Yeah. Because typically it's like -20 to -30 degrees. Yeah. And I was like, I could not live in something like that. I was glad that I got to go fight there and I got to experience it, and it's a cool little city and everything. But I cannot do the cold like that. Excellent. Well, you're a California guy, man. Born and bred there, so you got that warm weather blood in you. So, Josh. I know it. I thank you for coming on. I want just ask you a couple of last questions about where do you want to go from here. 2018 is wide open. You beat the number 3 ranked guy. You got Brian Ortega. He just took out Cub Swanson. You got a lot of movement that could happen in this featherweight division. Where do you think you stand right now after a performance like that? Yeah, at the very top, and like I said, I will be a world champion, and so 2018 is going to be my year. It's funny, too, because when I got in the UFC, I did an interview like 2 years ago, the beginning of 2016, and I said 2018 I'll be a world champion in the UFC, and it looks like I'm right on track for that. So I've been saying this. Yesterday I had a few interviews. What makes most sense to me is what you said. Brian Ortega is coming off a great win over Cub Swanson. He's a great fighter. He's undefeated. He has a lot of hype behind him. I'm coming off an exciting win, great knockout, and so I think it makes most sense that Brian Ortega and I fight. The winner of us gets the winner of Holloway Edgar.
Sounds like a 2018 plan, my friend. I'll be rooting for you on that. I want you to get your props. I mean, you're 4-1, man, in a tough division in the UFC. You're right in the mix there. Like I said, there's a lot of movement going on right now with your win and with Aldo losing, and Frankie Edgar's in there too. So we don't know what's going on, but I'm glad you're in that mix because you're a hell of a guy. You're very you're humble, and you're getting your dues a little bit now. People are starting to pay attention to you, buddy. I mean, that you got that one punch, man, but you had 3 wins before that against and your only loss is a split decision, which was a great fight in itself. So man, hold your head up high. Definitely in 2018, man, you're going to be on fire.
Well, thank you. That's what I'm pulling for. So it's going to be a great year, and it was a great end of 2017, and just going out with that awesome win. And now my wife and I are going over to Italy to visit my brother that's in the military. So we're going to have it's just going to be. 2017 was phenomenal, and I think 2018 is going to be even better.
Excellent, man. I wish nothing but the best for you, buddy. I'll definitely be checking out and waiting for whatever's coming next for you. And definitely let me give you a call next time when you know something, Josh. When something is announced, then we'll talk about this next fight you got coming up. But until then, man, enjoy your Christmas, your holidays. Enjoy Italy with your brother and your wife, man. And thank you so much for coming on my show and talking to me. So all your New England fans and East Coast people here that a big underdog, they love the underdog, my friend. And you definitely were one. And you came out with a big win. And we're high on you, buddy. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Well, I really appreciate it. And yeah, anytime you want me on the show, just let me know. Anytime, man.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.